and I've done that as well. And I'm the only one with the receipts to have done that in Republican congressional districts over and over again. But I want to say this.
I got the best hair. That fares well in a blizzard.
He shouldn't be.
I'm a New Yorker. I know how to take on an arrogant con man like Donald Trump that comes from New York.
Damn, he looks hella ugly today.
I'm a mayor, or was a mayor. I know how to run a complicated city, the biggest, most diverse city in this country. I'm a manager. I knew what to do after 9/11 and brought the city back stronger than ever.
A socialist who thinks that capitalism is the root of all evil, and a billionaire who thinks that money ought to be the root of all power. Let's put forward somebody who actually lives and works in a middle-class neighborhood in an industrial Midwestern city. Let's put forward somebody who's actually a Democrat.
That's a good line of attack, not gonna lie.
We shouldn't have to choose between
Bernie's been a Democrat and caucus with the Democrats since you were in your diapers, you little
buy this party out.
You rat.
We can do better.
Senator Sanders, are you polarizing?
Burn this party down? Divisive rhetoric, much, Andy?
As a matter of fact, you're the one who is at war with the Culinary Union right here in Las Vegas. We got more union support than you have ever dreamed of. We have the support of unions all across this country. But the vision I'm putting forward has the support of the American people. Really? We can actually deliver health care without taking it away from anyone. We can actually empower workers and lift wages without further polarizing this country. And
he needs to be way more aggressive, dude. Pete is being so aggressive.
On Sunday, on Meet the Press, Vice President Biden accused Senator Sanders' supporters of bullying union leaders here with, quote, vicious, malicious, misogynistic things. You said Democrats cannot build an inclusive party on a foundation of hate. Are Senator Sanders and his supporters making it harder for Democrats to unify in November?
Look, I have said many times before, we are all responsible for our supporters, and we need to step up. That's what leadership is all about. But the way we are going to lead this country and beat Donald Trump is going to be...
Are you going to step up for the Dayton shooter then, Elizabeth Warren? Is that where you're going to step up? You're responsible for everything that your supporters do? What about the Dayton shooter then, Elizabeth Warren? Huh? That guy was your supporter. What's up?
And if there are a few people who make ugly remarks, who attack trade union leaders, I disown those people. They are not part of our movement.
He doesn't mean us, chat. Shut up. We're the good people.
Why is it especially the case among your supporters?
I don't think it is especially the case, by the way.
That's just not true. Look, well, people know.
Pete, if you want to talk to some of the women on my campaign, what you will see is the most ugly, sexist, racist attacks that are...
You rat! You rat!
Let me say something.
What, did you go steal some more black endorsements, you rat?
We're going to need a president, not just a candidate who can win,
I have an idea of how we can stop sexism on the internet. We could nominate a woman for candidate for president of the United States. I think that might go a long way if we show.
Oh, that's so bad! Oh, that's so cringy, dude. What is she doing?
So I want to be clear. I've been to the culinary unions, healthcare facilities. They're terrific. You don't want to shut them down. You want to expand.
Are you fucking kidding me? They're giving a layup to Elizabeth Warren. Oh, dude, this is an execution. This is the red wedding of debates.
This idea that the union members don't know what's good for them is the exact kind of condescension and arrogance that makes people skeptical of the policies we've been putting forward. Here we have a plan that the majority of Americans...
Dude, he has to say the union members know exactly what's good for them. Bernie being too nice to the culinary union bosses is literally hurting him here. Him being too pro-union is hurting him here. He doesn't want to disrupt the power structure of the culinary union, but they're f***ing him. So he needs to openly state this, that the rank and file is on his side. Just like the same thing happened with the electrician union that endorsed Joe Biden recently. Their rank and file, 13,000 members sent a message to the union bosses saying, you can't just endorse Joe Biden. We don't like Joe Biden. We didn't even get a vote for it.
And when I discovered that we were doing too many stop and frisks. We cut 95% of it out. And
I discovered what? Then why did you defend it after the policy ended? He ended stop and frisk because it was declared unconstitutional.
Hey, follow me around the campaign trail, 3, 4, 5 events a day. See how you're doing compared to me.
Look, Mayor Buttigieg, you've been critical about transparency on this stage and people needing to do better. Is that response from Senator Sanders enough for you?
No, it's not, because first of all, let me say we're all delighted that you.
Why is Mayor Buttigieg a moderator in this debate panel? Why do they keep asking him?
Especially
what is this
living through the Trump era.
Let me ask you about something else. Several former employees have claimed that your company was a hostile workplace for women. When you were confronted about it, you admitted making sexually suggestive remarks, saying, quote, "That's the way I grew up." In a lawsuit in the 1990s, according to the Washington Post, one former female employee alleged that you said, quote, "I would do you in a second." Should Democrats expect better from their nominee?
Let me say a couple things, and if I can have my full minute and a quarter, thank you. I have no tolerance for the kind of behavior that the Me Too movement has exposed. And anybody that does anything wrong in our company, we investigate it, and if it's appropriate, they're gone that day. I am very proud of the fact that about 2 weeks ago, we were awarded, we were voted the the best place to work, second best place in America. If that doesn't say something about our employees and how happy they are, I don't know what does.
What a freak, dude. What a freak. Michael Bloomberg should not be allowed in public. He should not be allowed to be in public. Total freak. Not good.
Mr. Mayor, are you willing to release all of those women from those non-disclosure agreements so we can hear their side of the story?
Yo, Elizabeth Warren came the out tonight, dude. It's not going to translate well to the polls, most likely. It's too close, but she is swinging. Bernie is not doing as well as Elizabeth Warren is tonight.
This guy got himself in trouble, saying that he couldn't disclose what he did. He went to his company.
Just to be super clear, that was about the list of clients.
Shut the up, man. Shut the up, old man. You're embarrassing yourself. Just retire, dude. Retire, you old bitch. What are you doing?
Senator Klobuchar, you're running on your Washington experience, but last week in a Telemundo interview, you could not name the president of Mexico or discuss any of his policies. Last night, you defended yourself saying,
so good.
This is in jeopardy. But my question to you is, shouldn't our next president know more about one of our largest trading partners?
And I first want to say greetings to President López Obrador. Secondly, what I meant by the game of Jeopardy is that
still failed
I think
to say
we could
it correctly.
all come up with
López.
things. You know, how many members are there in the Israeli Knesset? 120. Who is the president of Honduras? Hernandez.
Senator
But when it
Klobuchar.
comes to Mexico, I am the one person on this stage that came out first to say I was for the U.S.-Mexican-Canadian trade agreement. That is going to be one of the #1 duties of a president.
Senator
is to
Klobuchar,
implement
my
that.
colleague specifically asked you if you could name the president of Mexico, and your response was no.
Yes, that's right. And I said that I made an error. I think
What
having
is
a
she
president
doing?
that maybe is humble
I
and
know
is able
words.
to admit that.
You're on the committee that oversees border security. You're on the committee that does trade. You're literally in.
He's going to get a lot of pickup after
committee
this,
that's
boys. I'm going to keep it
overseeing
real.
these things, and we're not able to speak to literally the first thing about the politics of the country to ourselves.
Are you trying to say that I'm dumb, or are you mocking me here, Pete?
Thank you, Senator.
If I could respond, this was a pretty big.
Ooh, that's a wrap.
He's basically
That's a
saying
wrap. It's out.
President of the United States.
Pete Buttigieg is
Being in the
treating
US Senate.
Elena
I am the
Klobuchar
one,
like
not you, congressional
like
district.
like she's at the dog pound tonight.
I've spent more time in Mexico than anybody. Guy get a chance to say something?
Hold on, Vice President.
See, thank you.
Come on, cut the malarkey. Let Biden have a moment. Let him have a fingy. He needs to suck.
I met with this president.
Oh, why?
The last president.
We're going to take a short break and kick off the next hour with a topic many voters have said is top of mind, the climate crisis. We're back in a moment.
Woo-hoo! Woo! What the f? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk turkey. Why? What an incredible f***ing night. Okay, listen up. We are all a bunch of messy bitches who love drama. It's a fact, okay? We are messy bitches who love drama, and there is not a better representation of that than what is going on tonight on that fucking debate stage. Oh my lord, dude. Okay, I'm gonna try to go through it quickly as I can. First and foremost, I cannot believe that Bernie Sanders for the first 25 minutes had to do a 1v100, basically, against every single candidate on that stage and also every single fucking panelist. Chuck Schumer should be fired. He should be fired. He is the worst person I've ever encountered. He is worse than Jake Tapper now. He is literally the worst person in media now. I don't know how this happened. I hate him more than I hate Jake Tapper. I was saying this already. I knew that he was going to be a total cuck. This has devolved into a Raj Royale debate right now. This is basically a Raj Royale debate. And obviously, my man Raj knows the fucking recipe. That's the recipe for success. Throw a bunch of really interesting takes in there and let these vultures go at it. Unfortunately, though, Bernie's not looking too strong. I'm going to keep it real. I don't think he did a decent enough job at pushing back on some of the lines. He had some good lines, but overall, I think the debate performance from Bernie Sanders has been subpar. On the other hand, the person who has done remarkably tonight is Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren came in hot. Elizabeth Warren sharpened her fucking guillotines before she came out to fight tonight. She ripped... She might have completely synced Michael Bloomberg's campaign. By the way, while we're having this conversation, guess what fucking ads are running on MSNBC? Anti-Medicare for all ads. Why is Pete Buttigieg claiming that the insurance industry is against them when they clearly are not? Why is Pete Buttigieg claiming that the insurance industry is against them when those pharmaceutical and insurance industry executives are literally paying into his campaign? Why?
Rail can take hundreds of thousands, millions of cars off the road if we have high-speed rail.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
He's right, but he's so bad at talking.
I'm willing to go as far as we have to go. First of all, I would eliminate all the subsidies we have for oil and gas. Eliminate it, period. That would save millions and millions of billions of dollars. Number two, I think that any executive who is engaged in, and by the way,
oh, he's done. No, it's over. Biden went through the first 20 minutes. It's done. He can never stay in the debate after the first 20 minutes. It's literally every single time. It's madness. I really like that. I really like that they're letting Biden ramble on twice on climate change instead of the front runner who has the highest rated climate change proposal. Are you kidding me, dude?
Where a company like Amazon or Chevron is
he just talked twice. Biden has talked twice. Bernie has talked 0 times on this issue, except for when they were like, why do you want to kill fracking people in Pennsylvania, Bernie Sanders? Insane. Insane to me.
That billionaires today, if you can believe it, have an effective tax rate lower than the middle class. So maybe just
the tax code. Why are you complaining? Who wrote the code?
You did. You and your campaign. Not me. You and your campaign contributions electing people who represent the wealthy and the powerful.
Yes. You're literally running for president, dog. What the f?
We have a grotesque and immoral distribution of wealth and income. Mike Bloomberg owns more wealth than the bottom 125 million Americans. That's wrong. That's immoral. That should not be the case when we got 500,000 people sleeping out on the streets, when we have kids who cannot afford to go to college, when we have 45 million people dealing with student debt.
Have you earned too much money? Has it been an obscene amount of... Should you have earned that much money?
Yes. I worked very hard for it, and I'm giving it away.
Bernie Sanders should be like, do you think you worked 1 billion times harder? Do you think you worked 66 billion times harder than your janitor?
You know what, Mr. Bloomberg, it wasn't you who made all that money. Maybe your workers played some role in that as well. And it is important that those workers are able to share the benefits. Also, I want workers to be able to sit on corporate boards as well, so they can have some say over what happens to their lives.
That's a mask-off moment.
Company. Would you support what Senator Sanders is proposing?
Absolutely not. I can't think of ways that would make it easier for Donald Trump to get reelected than listening to this conversation. It's ridiculous. We're not going to throw out capitalism. We tried that. Other countries tried that. It was called communism, and it just didn't work.
They're booing him again! They just booed him because he sounds like a Republican, because he's a Republican.
Senator Sanders, in our latest NBC News Wall Street Journal poll released yesterday, 2/3 of all voters said they were uncomfortable with a socialist candidate for president. What do you say to those voters, sir?
What was the result of that poll? Who was winning?
The question's to you.
Well, the question was that I was winning, and I think by a fairly comfortable margin. Might mention that.
What a wonderful country we have. The best-known socialist in the country happens to be a millionaire with 3 houses.
They keep booing him.
Well, you'll miss that I work in Washington, House 1.
That's the first problem.
Live in Burlington, House 2.
That's good.
And like thousands of other Vermonters, I do have a summer camp. Forgive me for that. Where is your home? Which tax haven do you have your home?
New York City, thank you very much, and I pay all my taxes. And I'm happy to do it because I get something for it.
Senator, thank you. We need to take another break here. We'll return to the Paris, Las
Wow.
Vegas in just a moment.
Wow! Wow! Wow, 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 wow. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. All right, what a f***ing incredible second half. First and foremost, Bernie Sanders really picked it up. It's good. I'm glad that he finally is actually throwing some blows, okay? One thing that he has to hammer in, he has the socialism for the rich versus socialism for the poor line pretty well rehearsed at this point, delivered it very adequately, and I think that was a good moment for him. Certainly a good moment for him. That's good. Joe Biden is droning on over and over again. It is genuinely embarrassing. It is genuinely, legitimately embarrassing. At this point, like, they have to just, it's f***ing elder abuse, dude. Stop. He does not have mental faculties to competently argue his positions. It's not good. It looks terrible. It's embarrassing. I feel bad for him. Now, having said that, though, back to Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders has good, well-rehearsed lines. He needs to have better lines for the House thing. These are really cheap shots that are going to play well. It's going to come up in the general, and it's probably going to come up again in the debates, in the upcoming debates. Michael Bloomberg is actually a really good opponent in this regard. Not as charismatic as Donald Trump, but still, he is pretty much a Republican, which means that, I mean, he is a Republican, which means that he's going to use Republican talking points, which he's doing, which is incredible because people were booing him. He was like, you're a communist, you're a communist. And people were literally booing him in the MSNBC audience, which usually has a lot more money than the average audience. Can you imagine getting booed by the MSNBC audience for a line that you said about where you were anti-communism? What the f***? Michael Bloomberg is single-handedly selling communism to America.
How long it took to get back in the game again. They have to understand the needs of ordinary people, and they are getting killed no matter what people say about this economy, how good it is. And the good part of the economy,
I think Biden is speaking to a different frequency that you and I cannot understand with our Zoomer and millennial brains.
The president.
I'm convinced now that only boomers can hear his frequency.
The dreamers are so important in Nevada, and the best way we can get this done is to beat Donald Trump.
Pete Buttigieg looks like he wants to murder dogs right now, dude. Look at his face.
You have been unusual among Democrats. I think the Democrat among all of the senators running for president, most likely to vote for Donald Trump's judges, who we know are especially hostile to dreamers and to the rights of immigrants. Now, in South Bend, it was not.
I think Amy might hit him back, like actually punch him. She's going to smack him.
I'm actually so proud of the work I've done on immigration reform. And you know what? You have not been in the arena doing that work. You've memorized a bunch of talking points and a bunch of things, but I can tell you one thing. What the people of this country want, they want a leader that has the heart for the immigrants of this country, and that is me.
You know, maybe leading a diverse city that was facing ruin doesn't sound like the arena to you, I'm used to senators telling mayors that senators
Dude, that's
are more
so
important
good.
than mayors.
You gotta hit that more. That's politics, baby.
I want all of your opinions on this. Should the person with the most delegates at the end of this primary season be the nominee, even if they are short of a majority? Senator Sanders, I'm going to let you go last here because I know your view on this. So instead, I will start with you, Mayor Bloomberg.
Whatever the rules of the Democratic Party are, they should be followed. And if they have a process, which I believe they do,
I'm trying to do
so
this,
that
yes or no to
everybody
make it
else,
fast.
everybody can.
So you want the convention to work its will?
Yes.
Yeah, no. That's why he's in the race to spoil it.
Senator Sanders.
Well, the process includes 500 superdelegates on the second ballot. So I think that the will of the people should put down yes.
Thank you, guys.
Most votes should become the nominee.
5 no's and a yes.
We are not done yet. We're back with more from Las Vegas after a short break.
Honestly, Chuck Todd, I mean, what a disgusting piece of dude. What a disgusting piece of dude. I am so mad. I'm big mad, dude. No, it's a good question. Putting Bernie on the end and then cutting him off is deliberate, dude. That's bullshit. Elizabeth Warren had the strongest time. She had the strongest night. Amy Klobuchar had awful moments. Just absolutely awful moments. Like, I mean, it was embarrassing. The AMLO stuff was terrible. The AMLO stuff was like, I mean, Pete really daggered her pretty hard. He's probably going to pick up some of her support, I'm assuming. I don't see her campaign recovering from tonight. Bernie Sanders did not have the strongest night. He had some really good moments, but don't forget, we love Bernie Sanders. So, of course, we like Bernie Sanders, so we think Bernie Sanders did well. But if you look at it as an onlooker who doesn't really know Bernie Sanders that well, you're probably going to come out thinking, well, they really did attack the shit out of him. We're going to get...
Look, this is a management job, and Donald Trump's not a manager. This is a job where you have to build teams. He doesn't have a team, so he goes and makes decisions without knowing what's going on and the implications of what he does. We cannot run the railroad this way. This country has to pull together and understand that the people that we elect, and it's
why is he saying, like, I'm going to... He's running a Republican line. This is... The government is not a business, dude. You're not supposed to put profit.
Unfortunately, LULAC, among other groups, Latino groups, saw that bill having provisions akin to slavery, Joe. But the bottom line is, all of us are united in defeating the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country. That we agree on. But where we don't agree, I think, is why we are today the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people. Why 3 people own more wealth than the bottom half of America when 500,000 people sleep out on the street. Why hundreds of thousands of bright young kids can't afford to go to college and 45 million remain in student debt. Bottom line here, real change never takes place from the top on down, never takes place from an oligarchy controlled by billionaires. We need to mobilize millions of people to stand up for justice. That's our campaign. Join us at BernieSanders.com. Thank you.
Senator, thank you. Folks, thank you.
Excellent. That was perhaps that was his best finisher